I got up and it was my neighbor screaming that the dam has been compromised.
So we were aware that this storm was coming in. We were hearing all the reports, 4 or 5 days beforehand. Really didn't think it was going to be as bad because it didn't seem possible.
I just happened to live in the bullseye of the entire event. So as I'm getting up in the morning, I noticed how much rain was coming, how fast it was coming, and I immediately emailed our meteorologist and I told him, this is a real event. And he said, I know, this is historic.
We are also getting word here that there is a gas leak. They are making sure people stay back as far as possible. They are also evacuating some homes.
The majority of the rain was October 4th, and it was in the early morning hours, Sunday morning of October 4th. And so again, it was Monday that we came up with this idea. I got the call about 6:30, 7 o'clock, somewhere around there, said, can we do it? I said, absolutely, we need to do that. We pulled it all together and I sent the flight area to our pilot at about 9:30 that night. As soon as the clouds cleared out enough to fly, they were wheels up and headed over here about 11 o'clock that morning. Flew the area, never even landed here, went straight back to Dayton, Ohio, took the information straight into the Woolpert office there and started processing it.
We wanted to fly the imagery as quickly as possible, process it as quickly as possible, and while it was being flown and processed, simultaneously work on developing a web viewer that would allow us to share it with both the client and the public as soon as it was ready.
We turned this project around in less than 2 days. In fact, this was one of the fastest projects that I've been involved with, both on the planning and imagery acquisition phases of the project, but also on the data delivery and ultimately integrating the data into their GIS viewer portions of the project as well.
When Brian came to show me the data and the app that was used, and I could see the areas that I grew up in, areas that I visit on a daily basis, and to be able to zoom in and see those areas really were impactful. I'm not a technical person, so when I saw this, and it really showed to me the devastation before and after. I mean, you could really see how the areas were affected.
The app that was provided by Woolpert helped not just departments and our staff, but citizens.
What Woolpert did with this aerial imagery in such a short amount of time was the most amazing thing. Being able to then hand it over 24 hours later, it blew me away. I've never been more proud of our company. I had no idea that we could even pull this off.
The lessons that were learned from this flooding and the storm, to make sure that we fund our roads, have adequate funding for our dam safety program, and make sure we have the necessary infrastructure there to deal with this kind of storm the best we can.
To change things for a future event or in other locations, geospatial would be in a disaster preparedness plan, and there would be on-call services for firms that can not only collect data, but merge data. It could be cloud services, but also imagery services. We need to have those kind of contracts in place as needed, just as if you were an on-call contract for road repair for a state DOT. We need that for geospatial.
It was something that we had never experienced in this community, but I'll tell you, it was a sense of unity. People rose to the occasion.
We were part of the community. We did this to help. We didn't do this for any other reason. We had an airplane. It was needed. No one else was going to be able to provide this, and so we were able to do something. And so we're part of the community, and we acted just like a neighbor would act. Whether we were letting our neighbor use a chainsaw to cut down a tree that fell on their house, we used an airplane.